Hey fourth graders, in case you missed our math Zoom today, here's our lesson. We're going to work through this page together, and then I'm going to work through some of your math boxes and assign some of it. Seamstresses and tailors are people who sew clothes, and they often buy supplies at a fabric store. Fabric is another word for cloth, a material used to make clothes. Fabric comes wrapped in a bolt. This is what a bolt of cloth is. The length of fabric in a bolt varies, but the width is set. The most common widths are 36, 45, 54, 60, 72, and 118 inches. The amount of fabric you buy is measured in yards. When you buy 1 yard of fabric, you are getting a piece of fabric with an area that is 1 yard times the width of the fabric. So if you look, this person is buying 3 yards because you'd have to split, you have 3 yards here, and you'd split this into 3 pieces, and hers is 45 inches long. So, then it talks about having a pattern. This is a pattern for a pair of shorts, apparently. It's traced or pinned to a piece and then sewn up. Well, here's the question that you have to answer. Ella bought 3 yards of fabric from a bolt that is 45 inches wide. She said, I have 135 square inches of fabric for my project. Do you agree with Ella? Explain why or why not. So this is Ella's cloth right here. She bought this. 3 yards by 45 inches. We want to know, and the way that you figure out how much she got is a yard, or how many yards, times the width of the fabric. So what you're really doing here is finding the area. So what I want you to do is pause me and answer yes or no. Does Ella have 135 square inches of fabric for her project? Because the question is, Ella bought 3 yards of fabric from a bolt that is 45 inches wide. She said, I have 135 square inches of fabric for my project. Do you agree with Ella? Explain why or why not. So, yes or no and why. Go ahead and pause me and do this, and then I'll give you the answer and we'll solve it. See if you're right or wrong. Okay, so hopefully you pause me, because I don't want to wait too long with the video. But if you need more time, just hit pause again. Okay, the answer is no. Ella took 3 yards times 45 inches. She needed to change yards to inches before multiplying. So if you said yes, that's fine. You can change it to no. You can change your answer. I don't really care. But I'm going to erase this in a minute. So if you need it, pause it and write it down, because I need the room to work to actually solve this. Okay, last chance to pause me. Okay, so now we're actually going to do the work. We need to change the yards. She bought 3 yards, but we need to change that to inches. Before we can do that, we have to change it to feet. And there are 3 feet in a yard, so we need to take this number and to multiply by 3 to get there. Go ahead and do that. 3 times 3 is 9 feet. Now we're going to change it into inches. And to do that, how many inches are in 1 foot? 12, so we need to multiply that by 12. 9 times 10 is, okay, so we're going to do 12 times 9. I should actually do the work for you and show you. 9 times 10, and 9 times 2, then add them together. Go ahead and do that. 9 times 10 is 90, 9 times 2 is 18, and we add. 0 and 8 is 8, 9 and 1 is 10, so it's 100. So she bought 108 inches of fabric. That's the width of it, or I guess I would have called it the length because it's longer. So now to figure out the area, we would have to go 108 times 45, which isn't as bad as you would think, because here, let's think about it the way that I've shown you this before. We have 100 plus 8 times 40 plus 5. And what we do first is take 40 times 100, and then do 40 times 8 and write those in. So go ahead and try and solve those two. Remember, when you look at 40 times 100, you have 1, 2, 3 zeros, so you can put those down. And now you only have to do 4 times 1, which is 4. Now we're doing 40 times 8. There's only 1 0, and 4 times 8 is 32. We're done with that 40. We've used it twice. Now we're going to do 5 times 100 and 5 times 8. 5 times 100 is 500, and 5 times 8 is 40. 0, 2 and 4 is 6, and 3 and 5 is 8 hundredths. So if you wanted to add to this, you would say something like, and I know this, I erased mine, Ella has 4,860 square inches of fabric. And that's it for that page. So now we're going to look at your math boxes. I'm going to work through a few of them with you, because they're a lot of work. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to make them a little bigger. Box 1, I'm just going to help you get set up. Shania has some leftover pieces of ribbon. 3 pieces are 9/10 meters long, and 2 are 6/10 meters long. How many meters of leftover ribbon does Shania have in all? Here's where kids mess up. We have 3 that are 9/10 and 2 that are 6/10. So when we're starting our number model here, we have 3 pieces that are each 9/10. 3 times 9/10. Then we need to add, and we're going to add the other part. So you try that on your own. Pause me and try that. It should be 2 times 6/10. And that's going to equal, I'm going to use R for ribbon. So multiply, multiply, add them together, and then you're probably going to have to make it a mixed number and not an improper fraction when you add. You're going to get an improper fraction. This one we're going to do together. Okay, the first thing we got to do is double this. Double 2 1/8. And if you double that, double 2 is 4, double 1/8 is 2/8. So then we need to bring that over here and subtract from your whole perimeter. Okay, go ahead and subtract that. 2/8 minus 2/8 is 0/8, but you don't need to have that because 0/8 is nothing. 16 minus 4 is 12. Now then 12 is this plus that. So we need to cut it in half. What's half of 12? 6. So your length is 6. So now to find area, we take length times width. So we're going to do this in 2 problems. We're going to do 6 times 2 and 6 over 1 times 1/8. Because anytime we multiply by a fraction, we got to put it over 1, the whole number. Go ahead and solve those. 6 times 2 is 12, and 6 times 1 is 6/8. So we should get 12 and 6/8 for that one. For this one, we're going to do A, B, and D. We're going to skip C and E. For these two, multiply by 16. For this one, multiply by 4. Alright. Number 4. On this one, these two you need to add, then multiply that by 6. And then take that answer, and if it's bigger than 275, you don't have enough money. If it's less than 275, you do. Alright, this one I'm going to do with you. It's just a division problem. There's 1,080 degrees in a stop sign, and there are 8 angles, so we're going to go 1,080 divided by 8. And we're thinking, how many 8s can go into 10? 1. 8 times 1 is 8. Write a 0, write a 0, write a 0, write a 0, and subtract. 0 minus 0 is 0. 8 minus 0 is 8, and 10 minus 8 is 2. Now it becomes, how many 8s can go into 28 without going over? 8, 16, 24. The closest you can get is 3. 8 times 3 is 24. Add a 0, and subtract. 0, 8 minus 4 is 4. Now, what times 8 is 40? Hopefully you got 5. 8 times 5 is 40, and subtract. So your answer is 135 degrees. And I was super nice today, 135 degrees, and I did not assign box 6. You don't have to do that one. So that's it for today. Have a good one.